Ronnie Barbour's limited edition.
Welcome along to Ronnie Barbour's limited edition. I'm here for the next, well, until we run out of time. Are we going to sit like this all the time?
You bought it. You bought the table, so yeah.
Because the configuration is not quite to my...
Do you feel a bit weird?
Yeah, can I try that seat?
No. This is where all the things are happening.
Well, welcome along, everybody, and this is our first ever podcast since I left the BBC, and officially I leave the BBC on the 30th of April. Officially. Contractually, right. I left before then, but contractually, that's me.
So almost like just after 3 months to the Olympics.
And that's it. There's no coincidence.
It's like a cultural Olympiad.
I'm already down that road. In fact, I love that idea, by the way. I'd like to see opera done like a race. I'd like to see fat people on a stage racing and singing. Racing and singing. I keep the pigeons. Anyway, what's going to happen with the podcast is we're kind of wander through things that have happened. We've got F and Pete. We've got Professor Bryony Cox doing a wee piece for us. And we've got the little old lady in a corner still to come.
Ronnie Barbour's limited edition.
Innuendo of the day. Innuendo of the day. Innuendo.
And he's never seen getting onto an aeroplane without something large, thick, and hardback in his hand.
Thanks very much to Jim White on the artistic tastes of Roy Hodgson.
Innuendo of the day. Innuendo of the day.
Questions for Ronnie.
Time for questions from you, the general public, to me, used to be star. Question number one, Nelly B.
This first question from Sheila in South London.
She got an age?
47 and a half.
47 and a half.
She says, this week, who would you rather be? Jeremy Hunt, Rupert Murdoch, or Abu Qatada?
Well, I think I'd like to be, and I think everybody expecting Rupert Murdoch, be a millionaire, billionaire sort of thing.
Yeah.
But Abu Qatada is the one I'd like to be. Two things. Because he's got that kind of that excitement you get. You know when you don't know what your holiday's going to be like? Jeremy Hunt, no, I don't want to be him. Abu Qatada. But the other thing about Abu Qatada is I'd love to be in a pub if he's, when you order a food, or like Starbucks, they ask your name.
Yeah. You
get to Starbucks and they say, what's your name? And they take that down. And then somebody has to shout out in Starbucks or other, Abu Qatada! And the minute somebody says that, they're expecting a rabbit to appear out of something. Isn't it? It's like one of those Shazam moments. Abracadabra, Abu Qatada. And maybe in one of those countries that, Abu Qatada is a very popular name, maybe that's the way they do their magic.
Well,
Come on then, kids. 1, 2, 3. Oh, shout. Abu Qatada! It's a rabbit!
It looks good when you produce the coffee.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Abu Qatada!
Abu Qatada. In fact, I'm going to change my name when I go into these places. I'm going to change my name. I'm going to be... I don't want to be Ronnie. You want to be something like, I don't know, Peregrine.
What do you think of the Jeremy Hunt stuff this week?
I've enjoyed the Jeremy Hunt stuff. It's been great. What I've really liked is Elvis Costello doing the interviewing. The guy who's doing the barrister. The barrister looks like Elvis Costello.
He does.
Doesn't he? Everybody's been wondering. They've been looking at that man as they're doing the thing and going, you remind me of somebody. You remind me of somebody. And then it hit me today. It's Elvis Costello doing the questioning.
I never thought about that.
And you've got, what's the guy that's married to Zoe Ball?
Norman Cook.
That's what
Slim.
Is Rupert Murdoch. I was tweeting about this during the week. That, I was trying to make Levis in the movie, and who could all the say. But then when I saw because it just was rumbling in my head. You remind me of somebody. You remind me of somebody. You remind me of Elvis Costello. You see, and here's my other thing about that. Vince Cable's nowhere to be seen when these bald people are around. I think Vince Cable's got a bald thing in his contract.
I'm gonna rip them up. Yeah.
Or if there's too many bald people around, he doesn't appear. He doesn't appear, and he certainly doesn't appear when Elvis Costello's doing the questioning.
You didn't specify on Hunt though.
Well, Jeremy Hunt. Well, I think it's an important thing. If if you're running the department and you allow something, you're in charge. You might not know about it. You might have no idea what's going on, but you're running the department. You put people in charge. You put them in charge, and if they do, well, you have to take some responsibility.
Let's say this though. You're running a fruit department at Tesco's.
Where did we get into the fruit? Why we?
No, I'm harking back to you saying that everyone in charge of a department needs to know what their people are doing. Let's say you're the manager of the fruit department at a supermarket.
Right.
And someone puts out a bad banana. How are you meant to know about it?
Because the customer will pick it up.
Who do you blame?
I blame the person who put it out.
Who
And
put
I'd have a quasi-judicial review.
of the bananas?
Yeah. I'd launch an inquiry.
Questions for Ronnie.
Right, next question. This is from June in Whitfield.
June in Whitfield?
June in Whitfield.
Would she have...
What a coincidence.
June in Whitfield.
When can we expect you in front of Leveson?
I have been asked to appear.
Yeah.
But I am consulting with my lawyers because these kind of things, I have a very, very important career in broadcasting
Right.
left.
Have you ever hacked?
Oh, yeah, I've hacked. Oh, but
Who?
I've hacked everybody.
Well, yeah, but, come on.
I've hacked the lady 3 doors up from where I live.
So not celebrities.
No, I needed to know. She's got a really good window cleaner.
You
Right.
wanted a number.
But his van's not got a name on it, and I'm too embarrassed to ask. So I worked out a way. I've kind of hacked into her phone. I now know the number of her window cleaner. She'll be gutted.
So you mainly hack for utilities.
Yeah.
So actually, that's kind of ethical hacking.
Yeah. I hope that answers your question, June from Whitfield.
Questions for Ronnie.
This is from Sean in Preston.
Sean in Preston.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he a regular texter?
No, it's his
Okay.
first time texter. He
Oh,
says,
first time texter.
what's your favourite type of pasty?
I like the ginsters, the ginsters.
Yes.
The ginsters beef, the beef, the one that's a beef, I forget, it's got beef in it. Though, if you are going into and this has been a magnificent move by the Scotch Pie Federation, they don't have any problems with this tax. It's pasties, it's not pies. So the Scotch pie is saved. It would have it'd been an insurrection if they'd actually taxed pies.
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
Gadzooks, it's a medieval rap next on 4. The gangsters are banging at the castle door, so straighten your hose and don't get cosy. Them boys are due a visit from the mafiosi. That's after this on Radio 4.
Action Central News.
Let's get limited. Let's get limited. Let's get the limited edition.
So it's the limited edition with me, Ronnie Barbour. Time for my interesting interview. You may have seen the story about the man who last November decided that he wanted to come out. And he's been out for more or less 5 months now. But he's now decided he wants to go back in. I've changed his name for purposes of this interview. But his voice really does sound as bad as this. His name's Sequence. Welcome to the limited edition.
Hello, Ron.
You decided last November to come out. What made you decide to come out?
Well, it's a weird thing being in. you don't know you're in. But then suddenly, the moment that you realise you're in, the only thing you want to be is out.
Were your friends out or were they in?
Well, it was odd because I had a couple of out friends, a couple of in friends, and they were happy in their situation. But it's horses for courses, Ron, because they were happy out or in, but I wasn't happy in, so I wanted out.
Did you talk to your family about this, and how did they feel when you walked in with that news and said, I want to come out? What did they say to you?
Well, a lot of my family didn't really know I was in. I said, look, I'm in, but I want out. And they were shocked, to be quite honest, Ron. So when I told I was coming out, they were shocked again.
Were they happy for you?
Difficult to tell, really. They're a bit shocked, Ron.
So you went out, or you came out, and you lived this life out, and now within 6 months you've decided you want to go back in again. What's brought that about? What's changed your mind?
I don't know, really, because it's a funny thing when you're in. You want to know what the outworld's like. And it's this kind of mysterious place because you're in. But once you're out, the reality hits you. There's all the kind of stuff that goes on in the outworld. And I just decided I'm better off in, mate.
So have you put a date on it? Do you know when you're going back in?
Yeah, 26th of June.
Sequence, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
And good luck. Listening to that was Professor Stopfold Flyover, who's an expert in coming out. Professor, Sequence's story, is that uncommon?
No.
Thanks. You're listening to the limited edition.
I'm not very good. I'm not very good. I'm not very good. I'm not very good. I'm not very good at speaking.
It's the limited edition.
So it's Ronnie Barbour's limited edition, the first podcast ever. And oh, look at that over there. Well, I never. Oh, it's a little old lady in the corner. Hello, little old lady.
Oh, off!
Oh, sorry.
No offence!
None taken. Time now for sport, and live from his conservatory is Don Kitter, the limited edition sports correspondent. Don, hello.
Hello there, Ron. How are you?
I'm fine, Don. It's been a monumental week of sport.
What a week it's been, and Chelsea have been flying like falcons above the detritus below them, and the detritus I refer to, of course, is Barcelona.
Yeah, and interestingly as well, Real Madrid knocked out by Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich.
Sorry, Don.
You not ever do German?
Not at school, Don, no.
It's Bayern Munich, and of course they beat Real Madrid in the penalties in that game, and what a boring game it was. Arjen Robben, one of the scorers, and Cristiano Ronaldo with his greasy slick back hair, which apparently is the fashion amongst youngsters nowadays, but if you ask me, makes them look like traps.
Are you a fan of the penalty shootout, Don?
Well, I always think the penalty shootout is much like a great night of lovemaking. If you ever get to 5, you've done well.
And you obviously have been looking away from sport, Don, just quickly for a moment, because I know you've got a political head as well. What have you thought about the Leveson inquiry?
Well, I thought that Rupert Murdoch's defence has been very, very steadfast. It's been a really, really rigorous attack from the Leveson inquiry, but Rupert Murdoch has looked like a Bobby Moore of a defender, and that's what I like about this man.
How do you think it's going to end, Don?
Well, I think that Rupert Murdoch and James, his son, the centre-backs, as it were, cannot hold against the pressure that the Leveson inquiry is enforcing upon them, so I think they will break, and I think the son will be sold off.
Don Kitter, live from his conservatory, is a limited edition.
Ronnie Barbour's limited edition.
Time now to get into the limited edition garden, where our gardening correspondent, F and Pete, is there to meet us. Pete, hello, how are you?
You all right there, boy? How's it going there, boy?
Good, good. A lot of people coming out of the winter and looking for tips and hints about things to do, ostensibly with their borders and things, to brighten up the borders, to get them out of the winter doldrums. What would you suggest, F and Pete?
Oh, fucking hell, boy. You want to get out of fucking winter doldrums, boy? No, not a fucking doldrum.
No, you don't want to be in
You want tips and hints, do you?
Yes, I do.
Fucking tips and hints. What kind of tips and hints you want, boy?
Well, can we think about what kind of plants we can use, F and Pete?
Oh, you use all fucking plants.
Well, are we thinking pansies?
No, you don't want a fucking pansy. I told you last week you don't want a fucking pansy.
Or what about roses?
Fucking roses. Did that last week.
So what would you suggest then?
Hey, put any fucking bark down, boy.
Bark?
Fucking bark.
Well, we could put that down, F and
Nah,
Pete.
you got to put your fucking bark down, boy.
Well, is that to prepare the ground?
Prepares the ground. Looks lovely.
And then, would that once that bark's gone, then you'd plant your flowers?
No.
What would you do then?
Put fucking bark down.
Right.
I fucking love bark.
Well, thanks very much, F and Pete.
Don't worry about it, boy.
Ronnie's predictions for the week.
My predictions for next week. Shirley Bassey will appear in front of the Leveson inquiry. Dame Shirley, because they haven't had a dame up there yet. And she appears at everything, so she'll be there.
So she'll get up, and what do you think a revelation will be from
her? Revelation will be this one. She will tell the Leveson inquiry that some of her dresses were mic'd up for news purposes.
She was wired?
She was wired. So
like The Wire?
Yeah, she would go in and she would talk to people and they'd think, what, Shirley Bassey? And she would go, running! But she was wired up and she was able to get secrets about people and the police. She'd done a few policemen's balls in her time. Second prediction of the week. Jeremy Hunt gets moved to the Northern Ireland office. That's what they used to do historically.
That's not bad.
Well, that was always the thing. When one of the ministers got into a wee bit of, maybe it wasn't delivering, they went Northern Ireland. They went, no.
Get him out of the actual country.
Yeah.
Put a C between.
That's debatable, but, this country, it's actual country. Get him over the sea. My third one would be this. Manchester United v Man City is a draw. And that's my predictions for next week.
Secondly, he wants the ability to break banks up when they get into trouble in a way that doesn't impose the costs on taxpayers. And the other thing that he wants... My wife is shouting goodbye to me.
Bye.
Bye,
Could you tell her what's her name?
She's called Sean.
Sean. Bye, Sean.
Well, it's that time. It's flown. It's our first ever podcast of limited edition. So it's time for us to kind of wrap things up and say cheerio and everything, really.
Yeah.
So we hope you've enjoyed it. Listen, seriously, as I've said to you before, it can only get better. I don't think it can get any worse. All right. but you're not paying for this. There's no license fee or anything. This is free. Okay, and if you'd like to retweet it or whatever you do, then do that. That would be quite nice. But it's free, and it keeps me from going insane. We'll see you next time for the limited edition.
Ronnie Barbour's limited edition.
Hello and welcome to limited edition number 2, which we do know is actually late, but it's not my fault. There's somebody over there that first of all has to apologise to you, the limited edition listener, for not getting this thing together. So do you want to apologise?
Sorry.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's your apology?
That's it.
Man, you're a different beast since you've gone to commercial radio.
I've got other things to do.
Yeah, I know you have, but the listeners demand high quality. And thank you everybody who had a listen on audioboo. We're very impressed. We've got a great show for you today. We've got F and Pete, we've got Palanatini, and we've got some other wee bits beside.
Ronnie Barbour's limited edition. Questions for Ronnie.
So, questions.
Oh, I love the questions. Oh, good. These are made-up questions from you, the made-up listeners. So thank you very much for making up a question and not sending it to us.
This one is from Terence.
Terence? Terence Trent D'Arby?
No, he's in Stapleford.
Terence Trent D'Arby's moved to Stapleford?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not him, though.
Why do we not get any questions from, north?
Stapleford is kind of north.
No, it's not.
Isn't it?
No, it's south.
Oh.
It doesn't matter. No, it's Stapleford. Terence Trent D'Arby from Stapleford.
Stapleford.
Got a question for us.
He asks you what you think of the Euro crisis and, more specifically, David Cameron's handling of it.
Well, two things. I think the David Cameron handling of it is well, he hasn't handled it. He doesn't get to handle it. It's not his crisis. It's the Euro crisis, because we're not in the Euro. But
it's part of his problem.
He's like one of those guys. You know this when you get into a real fight, right? And you get the guy at the back pushing you forward, saying, "Get in, hit him," but that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's what Cameron's like. He's saying, "Get him, you got, go and get him." Mind you, I do like this new guy, Hollande. He looks good. Hollande. He does look good. He looks very socialist. I like that, the president. And I'm not entirely sure you need a right-wing president for things. Mind you, think of George W. Bush. Anyway, the Euro crisis.
Yeah.
Here's my thinking. And I'm a big believer in serendipity. Yeah?
Well, you've always said that.
Yes, I have. And the reason why I believe in it, we've got the Eurovision Song Contest round the corner.
Right.
Why not call it the Eurovision Song Contest? The Eurocrisis Vision contest. And everybody has to sing to stay in the Euro.
So you rank countries based on the talent of their singers?
Yes, exactly.
We're going to have a problem.
They all have to... Yeah, well, we won't win, but that will please the right-wingers who want us out of Euro. They want us out. So Britain comes last as usual.
Yeah.
Mind you, Engelbert Humperdinck, there's a trail going on BBC One at the moment that looks very weird. He's got really chubby fingers. I've never thought that about anybody. I mean, Elton John's got chubby fingers. We know that, and we did the Chub Collect. But he's got really chubby fingers. That worries me.
What's your point with the chubby fingers statement?
I'm not entirely sure that you need a balladeer with big chubby fingers.
But think about what he has to do. He has to hold the mic all the time. You must develop a certain strength.
And by the way, his song, the song, it's like one of those kind of, it's a tease. It never really gets there in the end.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of teeters around a great big chorus, and never, it kind of, it's a false start. It's a semi-song.
It's a semi.
It's a semi-song. It's a song that's not quite sure it's going to go all the way. Next question.
Yeah. Next question comes from Sheila in Battersea.
Sheila, What's the question, Sheila?
Sheila asked you if you're excited about the Queen's Jubilee.
Certainly am. I'm a big royalist. I believe in the royalty family
You
thing.
like a good Queen?
Yeah. They had a big reception there the other night there for the Queen's Diamond Jubilees, and I've never seen as many queens in the one place in all my life. But it's funny how it's the real kind of hoi polloi that get to these dudes. I'd just like to see them go into a pub and say, "Oi, there's a do on down the road. Want to come to it?" And get a few guys
Like an after party.
Chaz and Dave.
Well, around the piano.
Yeah, around the piano. Philip having a pint.
Rabbit.
Yeah. You won't stop talking. Yes. Chaz and Phil.
Chaz and Phil. would
Chaz
do.
and Phil.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie. Charlie. It would be like
Charles and Phil.
You won't stop talking. Why don't you give it a rest?
Ribbit. Yep, ribbit.
Anyway, I think the Jubilee's fantastic, and I've actually managed to get 2 days' work as a result of the Jubilee. Everybody's talking about the effect it'll have on the output of the country financially.
Yeah.
I've managed to get some work those 2
You're
days.
doing well.
I'm doing those because people are having days off. So
that's good.
Good on you, Queen. More bank holidays if you don't mind.
This next question is from Steve. Steve doesn't want to give his location.
Why is that?
He's in hiding.
Steve in hiding. Oh,
Steve in hiding. He lives in hiding.
Hiding.
In hiding.
Lovely
yeah.
place.
He asked what you think of the Olympic torch relay and about Didier Drogba and will.i.am.
Well, I don't get this. The Olympics come here. It's a bit like, we've got Britain's Got Talent. We've got everybody coming in from France, and I love Europe. I love people coming in. It's fine, but it's Britain's Got Talent. If it says come to Britain's Got Talent, that's great. But it's the same with Drogba. He ran with it in Swindon. He got the torch to Swindon. Now, I was trying to get the connection. Does he know somebody in Swindon? Was he there for holidays? Does he know Paolo Di Canio, who's the manager of Swindon? Or was he just happened to be there and the press people went, you know what, it'd be good if he ran with the torch.
Yeah, it does. It seems like they're trying to do it before he leaves.
But talking of the torches, am I the only person who's thinking they would make the greatest ever barbecue?
Yeah.
If you got 30 of those
30 of them just
it's eternal. They don't go out.
That'd get annoying.
Yeah, but you just have a little, of an evening, the lights go down and you've got your little Olympic flames.
Yeah.
But you could start sort of selling Olympic steak. Olympic bangers.
Olympic seared steak.
Yeah.
That's quite nice.
Seared by the Olympic torch, which started in Athens.
Tastes of victory.
And there, we've done a full loop, all the way back to Athens and the Euro crisis. I thank you very much.
It's the limited edition.
Innuendo of the day. Innuendo of the day. Innuendo.
Having been late with his starter, Angelo wants to check he's properly prepared this time.
Have you plated this before?
What do you think?
So you've never plated it before, so you're not quite sure how it's going to turn out?
No, I haven't, and no, I don't. But there's not a lot difficult about filling rings.
Innuendo of the day. Innuendo of the day. Innuendo.
A local man's life changed overnight when he saw the writing on the wall for the very first time. He joins me live in the limited edition studio. Charlie, first of all, tell me about that moment when you saw the writing on the wall.
Well, it was a bit of an odd moment, really, because, you come into a room and you expect to see a wall, but you don't expect to see writing on the wall. So it's a bit of a shock, really.
You'd never seen writing on the wall before?
No, I've gone into rooms and I've seen walls, don't get me wrong. And it'd been like magnolia, red, purple. I've never seen writing.
You've obviously heard about the writing on the wall, though.
I've heard about the writing on the wall, but it's been one of those things that I've never seen. It's been one of those weird kind of mysteries that I've never actually experienced.
Did you tell anybody you'd seen the writing on the wall?
Well, I went to see my family shortly afterwards, and none of them have ever seen writing on the wall. And when I told them, they didn't believe me because they didn't think it could happen.
And you left home as a result of that?
Yeah, I left home because I didn't feel they could.
I can see you're upset.
Because I didn't feel I could trust him anymore.
You're obviously upset about this. But I'll have to ask you this. What did the writing on the wall actually say?
I don't know. I can't read.
Charlie Fritt, have you been affected by that interview? Tough. It's the limited edition.
Let's get limited. Let's get limited. Let's get the limited edition.
Nice set of shiny new tyres, full engine mode, and it's the yabba dabba doo moment for the driver.
Limited edition 2. More to come, but first, look who is over there. Just in that corner on her own. Oh, look, everybody. It's the little old lady in the corner. Hello, little old lady in the corner.
Oh, f*** off!
Oh, sorry.
No offence.
None taken.
And reach, 2, 3, 4. Reach it out and stretch. 2, 3, 4. Bring it down. 2, 3, 4. Open up. Open it right up. 3, 4. And chocky Mickey. 2, 3, 4. And relax.
Now, one of the things we'll be able to offer over the next few weeks and months is special offers. And the special offer for this month is Falstaff in a box. And joining us now is actually Falstaff in a box. Falstaff, welcome along to the limited edition.
Oh, hello, Sir Ronald. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Good. Now, tell me a wee bit about what it is you're on offer. You can be hired out to sort of functions and things.
That's absolutely correct, Sir Ronnie. I can be hired out for any sort of functions, be it grandmother's 80th birthday, a funeral. I can do sad speeches as well as happy ones for also for young toddlers. I can do children's birthdays for them, and I just turn up in my box and just charm everyone with my wit and my guile. But if someone does insult me, then I'll certainly insult them back in the box, though. All in the box.
Well, it's lovely, and I just wondered what made you do this then? What made you get into being in the box?
Well, my fine sir, that is a truly wondrous question that many passing minstrels and fair maidens and also wenches have asked me along the way, and I'll be honest with you, Sir Ronald, I give them always the same answer. Would you really like to know the answer? I have to admit it's not the greatest answer I've ever given to any question.
What is that answer?
The answer is, I haven't got a f***ing clue.
If you'd like to rent Falstaff in a box, it is available now only through the limited edition website.
Ronnie Barbour's limited edition.
The Iranians have always said they don't want one. They're just developing peaceful nuclear capacity, but no one believes them. Certainly not Israel, who won't be at the talks, but whom everybody... I beg your pardon.
Shall I take over?
Excuse me, I can't... oh, gosh, I don't know, I must have swallowed something. It's something that's been preoccupying the British government. Our political editor, Nick Robinson, is on the line. Morning, Nick. If I can get a few words out, tell us what ministers have been talking about.
I'm here to come to your aid, John. Yes.
Thank you.
It's the limited edition.
It's a limited edition number 2. Time now for some advice. And we're staying in the garden today with Effin Pete. Effin Pete, welcome along to the limited edition.
You all right there, boy?
People coming out of the doldrums of winter, Effin Pete, so they're thinking
doldrums, boy.
Yeah. So they're thinking, first thing, cut the grass. So I thought it'd be quite good if you could give us your tips and wrinkles on the best kind of grass cutters, the lawnmowers. What would you suggest, Effin Pete?
I want some fucking tips and wrinkles, boy.
Yes, we do, Effin Pete. What are you?
What in particular looking for, boy?
Well, I was thinking, a lot of people don't have big lawns, so...
No, you don't want a fucking big lawn, boy.
No, you don't want a big lawn. So it's a moderate-sized lawn.
Fucking moderate.
Yeah, it's a small, average-sized lawn. Are you looking at push me, pull you? Are you looking at the...
Oh, I don't want to fucking push me, pull me.
No?
No.
No good?
No good, boy.
Or one of those electric, the Black & Decker ones with the wheels, would you...
Oh, you don't want a fucking wheeler, boy.
All right.
No, you don't want a fucking wheeler.
What about...
I'll tell you what you need.
What do you need?
You want a fucking hover mower, boy.
A hover mower?
Fucking hover mower, mate.
Are they the best for the job, then?
Oh, they're the fucking greatest for the job, boy.
What?
They glide over the grass, you see.
All right.
And they chop off just a lovely top. Just a fucking top, right?
Right.
And all you get is a lovely flat lawn, right?
And you can't get that with, like, a petrol-driven lawn?
No, fucking petrol-driven, boy.
All right.
What kind of man do you think I am?
But isn't there an issue about the hover mowers?
No issue with fucking hover mower, boy.
Yeah, but surely you're going to leave grass lying in channels. You can see because it doesn't always suffer.
No, you not got a grass bag, boy.
Yeah, but
you can get yourself a fucking grass bag.
So you would not sway away at all from.
No, you don't want to stray away from the fucking hover mower, boy.
So hover mower it is then, Effin Pete.
Get yourself a fucking hover mower, boy.
Effin Pete, thanks a lot.
Ronnie Barbour's limited edition.
Time now for some in-depth Barbour analysis of political events. This week, Prime Minister David Cameron at Prime Minister's Question Time said this.
And with innovative ways of using our hard-won credibility, which we wouldn't have if we listened to the muttering idiot sitting opposite me.
So what do you think of that situation then?
Well, I think this is an historic moment for Parliament. I think we're witnessing the first ever bromance in the chamber.
How do you mean?
Well, come on. Let's be honest. If you fancied a girl or you fancied somebody, what was the first thing you did? You insulted them. You walked up to them and went, "You smell. You stink. You've got a big nose." All that stuff. And actually what it was is, "I really fancy you." I think Cameron fancies balls.
Tried all sorts for baby weight, I tried the Atkins, the apple diet, the donut diet, and the dry bread and water diet. Tried it all. Nothing worked. Then I had the baby and I lost about £8.
I'm not very good. I'm not very good. I'm not very good. I'm not very good. I'm not very good at speaking.
It's a limited edition. Time now for some music. And really pleased that Paolo Nutini, the Scottish songster, is with us. Paolo, welcome to the limited edition.
Oh, hello, Ronnie.
You're going to give us an exclusive rendition of a brand new song that you've written for the limited edition.
Oh, yes, Ronnie. I'm very worried about the problems in the Eurozone.
Of course, and you are very much a social songwriter, aren't you? You believe in the issues. Your New Shoes song was an allegory about the capitalist society taking over the people. And so this one is about that.
It's more about the problems that the Eurozone is facing, Ron.
Well, great. Well, it's an acoustic version.
It's an acoustic version, Ron.
Well, take it away, Paolo Nutini.
Thank you very much. Oh, the Eurozone. I'm very worried about it. Oh, no. Oh, the Eurozone is really bad, worse than a broken chair. So we must solve this problem right now before I lose all my hair. Although not the most obvious solution. America pays our debts, or maybe we could make the French pay them those garlic chomping shit. Oh, Marco, don't. What? Sorry, what?
You know, Paolo, good song, and it sounds a wee bit derivative, but I don't think. No, I really didn't do it.
What was your problem?
I don't want you to call the French anything.
Garlic chomping shit.
No, you can't do that. I'd rather.
Why not?
Please, no, Paolo. I don't think you should resort to language of that kind. Please, no.
Really?
Yeah, please don't do it.
So maybe replace that line with kind of a few lies or something.
Well, at least something else. I mean, is there any other lines I should be concerned about?
Probably no.
Are you sure?
Aye.
Okay.
I'll start again, shall I?
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Oh, take number 2. Oh, no. I'll keep it clean this time, Ron. Don't you worry, okay? Oh, the Eurozone is really bad, worse than a broken chair. So we must solve this problem right now before I lose all my hair. Although not the most obvious solution. America pays our debts, or maybe we could make the French pay them. La 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 la. Oh, Marco, don't be a get your wallet out
Paolo,
and give
no,
Greece
stop.
some money.
Stop the music.
You
Paolo,
dirty
Paolo,
what?
Stop this. You're not doing it, Paolo. Enough of that. No, I'm sorry.
I don't understand what the problem
I
is.
do. Paolo, thank you again. Thank you so much for coming in.
You didn't let me finish, Ron.
I'm not going to let you finish. Thanks for coming in and being part of it. It's a limited edition number 2. So that's limited edition number 2, well and truly in the can. Thank you for listening. We are very excited. Who knows? We could even get a third one out. Who knows? It just who knows? This time next year we could be famous or notorious. I'm not sure what's best, famous and notorious.
I think probably famous.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the name of that guy? Notorious B.I.G.?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
The famous B.I.G. wouldn't have been.
No, the famous or well-known B.I.G. Not very good.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, fantastic news. Do you remember when we were working on the radio, we had the rant line? Well, we've still got the same phone, so the number is the same. Here's the number. If you want to get in touch with us, 07534 177 215. That's 07534 177 215, and leave a message there or a question for us. Make up questions, don't care. Have a shout at us on that one. Love it. Just have a rant. If I'm kind of like a social worker, then that's nice. It's still public service broadcasting. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. But anyway, thanks very much for listening, Nellie Bay, and my colleagues, James, Catherine, who have put this together. It has been an Effie production.
Ronnie Barbour's limited edition.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to Limited Editions Column Inches. It's me, Ronnie Barbour, with you for the next few minutes as I wander through the newspapers and give you the stuff you'll need to talk about in the pub tonight or wherever you go to find your entertainment. And first of all, catch up. How are you? Are you okay? Well, I'm okay as well. I'm very busy. I'm now officially like the nation's swing jock. I'm doing work all over the place and enjoying myself and having a good time. Nelly B is down at LBC. Nelly B is down at LBC. Get me? That rhymed as well. And he's having a great time as well. He's moved out. He's in London. He's a Londoner now. He's eating jelly deals by the ton, he's telling me. But anyway, I thought I'd do a little kind of catch up with you. I'll give you more details on how you can contact me now. I've got an email address and everything. You can get in touch. I'm hoping this becomes a kind of semi-regular thing. I don't know. We might get bored, and you might get bored, I might get bored, and we stop doing it. But I thought it'd be nice just to touch base, to touch, not touch cloth. That's a different thing. Don't do that. Anyway, but I just thought I'd just wander in and say hello, and then wander back out, as has been my want. And by the way, I've wanted for a long while. So let's do it. Let's do this thing called Column Inches. And one of the things that's I've enjoyed the Olympics. Have you enjoyed the Olympics? It's great. I've enjoyed all the kind of the whinging that's going along with it, the seats and people not getting seats, people getting seats but not the ones they want and everything. But you know what? This morning we discover that there's been it's the reverse of cheating. The Chinese can't win whenever they get one of their athletes to do brilliantly, like the swimmer. The swimmer, does brilliant, and then she knocks 5 seconds off her time, and then we find out that the people are not happy. They don't think that should happen. Well, some of the swimmers, Ian Thorpe was saying that yes, when you're that age, when you're a young swimmer, you can't take loads of sort of time off. And then on the other hand, we find out the Chinese and I think it's the Indonesian badminton players trying to make sure they don't get in the next round don't get the best side or the best pairing to be up against, have been kind of throwing their matches, and so that they don't get the toughest gig next time round. So they've got one end of cheating and then the other end of cheating. So the Chinese can't win, can they? They can't. But anyway, the thing is, I'm looking forward to my first doping. I've missed the doping. Have you missed the doping? Yeah, it's quite nice to find out if somebody is still trying to wangle the system. The other thing I've kind of missed as well is, at this time, when you get the Olympics, you usually get a defection, don't you? You usually get somewhere along the line, somebody decides they want to leave their country and come to Britain or the West. Doesn't seem to happen. Is that because that people are very happy where they are now? But it used to be a big thing. It was lovely. We'd get sort of ambassadors and embassies and international furore, whoever that is. We'd get them involved, and we'd end up with a nice little international incident. But it doesn't seem to happen. The other thing that apparently happens as well, and I'll talk about condoms in a second. I know you want to talk about that. Is during the Olympics, the Olympic Village is a hotbed of activity, and why wouldn't it be? You're at the peak of your prowess. You've been training for 4 years to compete, and then you've competed, and then you've got all that pent-up energy. What's the best thing to do? It says here that condom usage, which is great, safe sex is what we want, condom usage goes up when they're competing and when they're in the Olympic Village, which is great. But on that note, yesterday, I was in the supermarket and I noticed that, condoms are actually security tagged, aren't they? You go along you got all the kind of your medicines and everything. But condoms are the only thing there that I can see is security tagged, apart from the stuff behind where the pharmacist sits, stands, wherever. But why? I just wondered if anybody's got the know-all. Why are we actually putting security tabs on condoms? Are condoms that expensive that that people will steal them? And if they're going to steal condoms, isn't that a good thing? I don't mean stealing. And by the way, if you are a younger person, stealing's bad and you'll get arrested and you'll end up in one of those TV programs, the ones that cops with intercept a car or something. But what a message to send out. These condoms are so precious that we are putting security tags on them so that you don't steal them and have safe sex. You get me? So here's hoping that the Olympics, they get their free condoms. Do you think they do? Do you think when they get their Olympic bag, they get their free condoms? Other news today, Gore Vidal, the famous polemicist, essay writer, a great thinker, a real philosopher of our time, has passed away. He's 86. And he's, I suppose, one of that kind of triumvirate. There was Gore Vidal, Alistair Cooke, and some people would have said Peter Ustinov, real thinkers, real kind of monitors of our time. Gore Vidal talked about the American life all the time and the way that American politics in particular affected the whole world. And of course, Alistair Cooke and his letter from America, which I desperately miss. Wouldn't that be great to get that back? He did more or less the same. And Peter Ustinov used to regale us with great stories about his travels around the world and his thinkings about different people. And it's a shame he's gone as well, isn't it? So they've got three great thinkers in heaven. But we need more thinkers. Give me, you can email me, ronniebarbour@me.com. And give me some thinkers. You've got your Professor Stephen Hawking, but all he's talking about is your black holes, or your holes and the space, the Big Bang and all that sort of thing. But give me some more, thinkers that we could follow. I suppose the closest we've got is a guy called Noam Chomsky, who he talks about the whole world and where we're going, but there's nobody in the same league as Gore Vidal or Alistair Cooke. Give me a shout, please. ronniebarbour@me.com. One word. Political news just in, which two great stories which I quite like. This is kind of rumbled on from yesterday, is that Boris Johnson has done so well with the Olympics that they're thinking he could be the new leader of the Conservative Party. Yes, he's so impressed. And Cameron's not having a great time, as we know, at the moment. Whenever he turns up at the Olympic events, we never win. That boy, Hollande, President Hollande, turned up at the judo and the swimming, and they won. And he, I don't know whether this is true, but he said, you can have the Olympics, we'll have the medals. And he's quite right. But Boris Johnson, people are kind of whispering, as they do in the Houses of Commons and other places, that he could be the next leader of the Labour Party. He could, the Conservative Party. He could be our Prime Minister. Now, here's what I'm hoping. If it's going to go that way, and whether you're a Boris fan or not, it doesn't really matter. But wouldn't it be great if it is a coalition? We get two blondes running the country. We become known as the country that's run by two blondes. Now, it could be a female, or it could be a male. Nick Clegg could dye his hair for the benefits of the country, so that we got known as Great Britain, the two blondes country. Be fantastic, wouldn't it? Other story, 1 in 3 people, according to this survey, think Vince Cable would be number 11. Now, you remember when I was on the radio, I used to say Vince Cable should be he should be the Chancellor, because we always wanted a Chancellor called Vince. Vinny, the Chancellor, that's what you want, don't you? You want a hard man. You got to go and see Vinny. Vinny's got the deficit, and he's going to sort you out. Vinny Cable. That's it. Chancellor Vinny Cable arrived with his entourage. He's going to get rid of your deficit, or else you want to know why. That's your political news, and moving on to social networking. 2 stories about Twitter, and it's all about tied into the Olympics as well. It appears, I'll give you the first one. A guy called Guy Adams was apparently on Twitter, was a bit negative about the coverage, NBC coverage, the American broadcasting station, about their coverage of the Olympics, and he was quite critical of them on Twitter. Transpires that NBC and Twitter have some kind of sort of business partnership going on, and that Guy Adams was banned from Twitter, just taken off because he was critical of NBC. Now, the thing about it is there are two things. NBC is a communications company, and so is Twitter, if you want. Surely that's what social networking is all about, is communication. If you're going to ban somebody because they're critical, then we're not going to get anywhere. However, the good news, and Guy Adams is in the, I think it's in the Eye today, he's written in the Eye, that he's been reinstated. His Twitter membership is back on. Twitter clams up in the face of NBC complaint farce. He's written, I've got it here, this article. They haven't, NBC haven't said anything about it. They've not commented. But he's now back in the frame as a member of Twitter. And I don't know what your feelings are about social not working, but that's a shout for freedom of speech. Talking of freedom of speech on this thing of Twitter, the lad Daly, the diver, yeah, him and his sidekick Peter Waterfield, which I thought was going to be Pete Waterman. I thought it was going to be like Kylie up there with them, but they didn't win a medal. And some idiot on Twitter then tweeted to Tom Daly that, Tom, you've let your dad down. What a thing to say. What a thing to say. Of course it is. It's a stupid thing to say. Two things is that if you're going to be critical of somebody, try not to be personal. But, Tom Daly retweeted what this guy had written. And so he got this, the fellow who'd done it. He got a load of hate tweets. Is that, what would you call a hate tweet? I don't know. And he got a lot of hate tweets, and he started, saying, "Come on, I was only commenting." He was kind of retracting everything. Anyway, the police investigated, and I don't think there's any charges going to be sort of done. But he's still on Twitter, and here's the thing: when I saw this thing kicking off, I noticed the fellow who'd done the hate tweets had actually had about 24,000 followers. I looked yesterday; he's now got 48,000. So 24,000 people decided to follow him. He's still on Twitter. And this is something you've got to mention about Twitter. I'm not on Facebook anymore. I've come off that. I was getting hassle on that. But I'm still on Twitter, @TalkRonnie. If you want to leave me a comment, @TalkRonnie. The thing about Twitter, it's given people the chance, some people who shouldn't really be given a public platform, it's given them the chance. That's how it goes. I still remember the days when I used to get hate mail, and I got a fair amount of hate mail. And it was usually in green crayon from people who just wanted to sort of vent the spleen about a Scots guy on the radio or just an idiot on the radio, and they would have a go at me. And you never saw those letters, you never talked about them. But those people are now in charge and have a Twitter account. And that's what we have to put up with. It's freedom of speech, everybody. It's social, not working. And finally, your show business news today, and I thought this would really, really excite you. Kylie and Jason, it looks like they're back. They could be back in town. The onstage reunion of Kylie Minogue and Jason Donovan could happen before Christmas. Pete Waterman, just mentioned him, had planned to reunite the pair at a concert in Hyde Park last month, but the event was cancelled. Waterman said yesterday that one of the stars wanted to go home in December, suggesting an earlier date. We can't wait, everybody, can we? We can't wait for that lovely day when Kylie and Jason are reunited. Thanks for listening. I'll be back with another Column Inches if you fancy. I'll put it on audioboo. But if you want to email me, it's Ronnie Barbour @me.com. Ronnie Barbour, all one word. Or you can follow me on Twitter @TalkRonnie. Have a good day and keep it limited edition Column Inches. How do you stay? 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 How do you stay in the saddle for so long? Bradley Wiggins. What? He must have the undercarriage of a chieftain tank. Wasn't it great yesterday? I thought London looked great yesterday as everybody was supporting Bradley as he goes around trying to win gold, and he won gold, and we had great success. Hi, welcome to Column Inches. It's part of the limited edition collection. We're a collection now. I'm Ronnie Barbour, and I'll be looking at the papers for you, so you get the stories that maybe he's not been highlighted as much. But before I do that, I want to talk about yesterday. I went and I helped my mother-in-law. She wanted to buy a new car second hand, so we went to one of these places. It was advertising loads and loads of cars and everything. You think you can just walk in and look at these cars, don't you? You think, okay, I'll just go in and see what the cars are like, and that's not the way it works. You go in and somebody meets you, and they take you for a previewing interview. It's a bit like they do on chat shows in America in this country. They take you away for a pre-buying interview. And me and my mother-in-law, we sat and, this guy, it was almost like, when you used to go in and buy shoes, and they would look at, the really good old-handed people in the shoe world would have just looked at it and said, that's great. I'll go and get you a size 6. Some people would have measured you, but some people don't. But anyway, so you do this pre-interview, and the guy looks and, so then you think, okay, we've done that, and you know what we need. Can we just go and look at the cars? And there's hundreds of them. No. Goes away and brings a car to us. He brings the car he thinks might fit our needs. So he was a wee while he was away doing it, and my mother and I went out the back door. We skipped out and we left. I don't know if you what you think about that, about buying cars, but I want to go and look at the cars. You want to look at them, and you want to do that whole thing that we do and say, oh right, yeah, that looks in good nick. You kick the tires, you see it's got window wipers, and that's how you move on. Anyway, we're going to go and test drive a car today. So I'll let you know in the near future how things going. What are we looking at first of all? Well, I'll tell you what we're looking at. Just at the Olympics thing, and the whole what happened over the last 24 hours. It's been great. We've had Bradley Wiggins. We've had all the papers covered with Bradley Wiggins and the two rowers as well, and the swimmer. And it's great. I felt sorry for the rowing team, the quads as they called them, that carried on after the two girls won the Olympic gold, and they were 6th, and they didn't get great press. And I thought, no, they're still Olympians. We'd all want to be, don't we? We'd all want to be Olympians. But the thing that we talked about it yesterday, this the cheating in the badminton. 8 players have been banned for cheating, but there's always a good side. Here's the thing. We know there are tensions between East and West, China and South Korea. We now have a cheating détente. It's a cheating détente because South Korean badminton players got banned, and so did the Chinese. So, in a way, we're getting some kind of consensus, isn't that? We're moving ahead. We're getting there. The phoners I would have done, had I been on the radio, I would have done, have you ever cheated at games? Have you ever been asked to throw a game? I think I've done that once. We were playing football in the cold, and somebody suggested that we played the next goal's a winner. You know that game? Next goal's a winner. And somebody suggested, so that we're getting out of the cold, this is Scotland, by the way, Scotland in summer, that we threw the game. And we did, so we could get into the showers early. That's how it goes. That's how the thing goes. But we've had the détente. So I would have gone with the phone-in of, have you ever cheated? Have you ever been banned from a sport? Why? On a side issue as well, Boris Johnson, we've been watching Boris Johnson's big campaign as he tries to get into the next stage of becoming leader. Well, I think there may be. I'm not a conspiracy theory person, but I think yesterday Boris got trapped in one of these sort of runways, in the sky with a wire, and everything gets trapped halfway down. And if I was a conspiracy theory person, I would just be wondering if David Cameron was at the other end of that and just had, pressed the button so that Boris gets caught in a harness holding 2 flags high. He's supporting Britain, but he's like the superhero who went wrong, the superhero who didn't manage to come and save the world. But let's keep watching. Boris might just get there. I know what I've got for you. I've got a great story as well, which I really rather like. By the way, if you get the chance to email me, ronniebarbour@me.com, I would love to hear what your thoughts are about the whole thing about buying a car. Because I never really get that deal done. When you go in, you've got it in your mind how much you would like to get for your trade-in. And we're going to do the trade-in thing this afternoon, my mother-in-law and I. We're going to do the trade-in thing this afternoon, and I don't know how it's going to go. I'll be honest with you, don't know how it's going to go. I know what we'd like, but will we get there? What's the most money you've ever got off a car and doing a deal? This from the Telegraph. Cruise company declares war on sunbed hogs. The familiar stereotype of German holidaymakers rising early to stake the claim on sun lounges may be banished to history. A cruise company said yesterday it became the first to ban passengers from reserving sunbeds. The British-American-owned Carnival Cruises announced use it or lose it policy on the ship Carnival Breeze. I love the name of ships. The Carnival Breeze. You can spend hours just shooting the breeze on the Carnival Breeze. It sails the Mediterranean. If successful, the scheme will be rolled out across its 22-ship fleet. Stickers, now this is the bit, there's a couple of bits of this story which interest me. Stickers will be placed on sun loungers showing the time guests leave, and if they don't return within 40 minutes, their belongings will be removed to the towel station so that someone else can use the lounger. This is the top note if you're a cruiser. Steady. The new rules are being broadcast on the in-cabin television and on large screen in the ship's theatre area. You get a somebody somewhere along the line got that gig to write that commercial, to write that information. Somebody has been given that to do. Why didn't I get that gig? I could have done that. It would have been absolutely wonderful. Anyway, the last bit of this one, and this is the bit that you should get a hold of, listeners. Towels will be removed after 40 minutes and kept in the towel station. It's a towel station. There's somebody, I'm sure, is in charge of the towel station. They get to be the towel station, I don't know, czar. They get to hold the whole thing, and they're in charge of it. Wouldn't that be lovely? What do you do for a living? I'm a towel station superintendent. Wow. So be warned, if you're going to go and do that thing of marking out your territory, because that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about, peeing up against a tree. Though don't do that with your sun lounger. It's not a nice thing to do. Social not working. A story I picked up on, I think it's from the BBC's website, which I think's... you remember the whole thing about the tweets to Tom Dale and everything? Here's a warning for anybody who leaves their phone around if they're in the pub and your mates might do something. A Welsh footballer has been suspended after an abusive message was sent to Olympic diver Tom Daley. The footballer was the subject of an internal investigation into the tweets sent to Daley, Welsh Premier League Port Talbot said. It had been reported a homophobic message was sent to Daley's Twitter page. Club officials said their player had been the victim of a misguided prank. A misguided prank. Phone in there. Have you ever been involved in a misguided prank? That wouldn't have phoned her. We could have got phones in that. Did we get phone and text on that? That would have been a lovely thing. But have you ever been involved in a misguided prank that went wrong? He left his phone unattended. And the tweet came from the player's account, which has since been deleted. So, seriously, make sure you do some kind of safety locks on your phone so that nobody picks it up and posts malicious stuff on that. I hope that's an end to it, because it's just getting a bit boring now, the abusive tweets. Though there's been loads of stuff firing around about the rights of free speech and who should be protected and who shouldn't be protected. By the way, when you do your Twitter thing and you put your little profile, in America, you write a little thing about yourself. I think mine's clinging to the edge, my views, right? It's that little profile statement. In America, people are hiring writers to write their profile for Twitter, and for some of it for Twitter, for Facebook as well, so that you sound really good. Wouldn't that be? What would you do? What kind of exotic? It's so that when people get, say, shall I follow this person? And you read it, and you find out that the person's quite exotic. I've got one here for you, and it's a little quiz. Right, this is a comedian who is profile statement on Twitter. And it's medium-sized town in the Midlands. Medium-sized town in the Midlands. That's his profile. His profile statement on Twitter. Who do you think it is? Ronnie Barbour at me.com. One word, Ronnie Barbour at me.com. Nick Stewart texted me yesterday, or emailed me yesterday on that thing. Nick, thank you very much. And you can have a mention as well on our little podcast thing, limited edition column inches. Right, last thing for now, and I've got a call to make, and you'll hear it in a second. You'll hear what I did. Remember I was talking about the fact that condoms, yesterday I was talking about condoms are security tagged now. They're so you can't shoplift this in the supermarket. They're security tabbed so that you don't steal condoms. And I was wondering why condoms get that treatment and maybe not other medicines. And it seems that maybe they are a shoplifted item. That was the proposal. But what would be wrong if people were going to shoplift something these days? Wouldn't it be better they shoplift condoms instead of alcohol or something like that? And by the way, you can buy condoms which are unsecurity tagged. I checked out in another garage. I didn't buy them. Though it's been a long while since I was in a barber's and they said something for the weekend. My life would be quite a nice thing. Top 10 most shoplifted items. I checked in, so I thought maybe that's why the condoms are that way inclined. And it transpires that they're not the most shoplifted item. I've got the top 10 here. And granted, this is a kind of a global kind of thing. Your top 10, number 10 is Nike shoes or Nikes. I would imagine trainers are in there. Number 9, Chanel. Number 5, perfume and other designer fragrances. Number 7 on this, Polo, Ralph Lauren and other designer apparel. So I get this. And when you hear what number 1 is, seriously, number 5 is Gillette Mac 4. The razors that you can cut yourself in 4 different ways. That's number 5 on the most. And now those are security tabbed, aren't they, in the supermarkets? I understand that. Number 3 is your electric tools. Totally. Number 2 is Jameson whiskey. Is number 2 on the list of most things. Right, number 1. What would you think? It's food. Right, it's a food. But it's filet mignon. You know those great big slabs of beef you get? And, well, that is the most shoplifted items. Security tagged beef, everybody, is the future of your shoplifting. And that comes in the day. I saw that in Rotherham, they reckon food shoplifting has gone up 50%. Figures are just out today. Right, anything else to tell you about? Oh no, stay with you. Oh yeah, there is one last story. One last story for you. It's not just athletes that are going for gold. So is Ann Summers. Yeah, Ann Summers has produced a £10,000 worth of a 24 carat vibrator. Yes, £10,000 will buy you a 24 carat vibrator. So finally, ladies and gentlemen, we get to use the punchline. Diamonds are truly now a girl's best friend. Speculation rife about who is going to be in the closing ceremony, the closing concert of the Olympics, joined on the phone now by the one and only Neil Diamond. Neil, welcome to Column Inches.
I love your Column Inches, Ron. Oh, golly, they should name you Winglet Nelson.
Should they? You reckon?
Nelson's Column, Ron.
Yeah. Are you...
It's one of London's greatest attractions, and Ron, speaking of London, I've got some pretty big news for you.
You have?
I've got some pretty big news, Ron, regarding the closing ceremony.
Neil Diamond, you're going to be in the ceremony. We're talking about Duran Duran being the top line, but you're going to be in it?
I've specially adapted some of my songs, Ron.
Wow. Is this going to be like
I've got Sweet Bradley Wiggins. Da, da, da. Got that one? I've got Crackling Cavendish get on board. I might not sing that one, no, Ron, because he wasn't great.
No, that's what happens. But
and I've got this other one, Ron.
Yes.
On the tubes and on the DLR, they're coming to London. They've never seen the busy tube train full of sweaty people. Pretty real, Ron.
It sounds great. Can I ask you, when were you told you were going to be in the closing ceremony?
Well, when I saw that they were having the Arctic Monkeys on, my agent put a call in, because apparently anyone can get into these things nowadays. So I thought, might as well give it a try.
Well, it's exciting news. Are you enjoying being in London? I take it you are in London.
Yes, I'm in London now, and my God, it's a loud city.
Yes, yes.
It really is loud, Ron. The music never stops here, like the music never stops in my heart.
That's the truth there, Neil. Well, listen, thank you so much for giving...
Hey, Ron, I can give you a little sneak peek of what I'm going to be doing.
Well, great, yes.
So, you know that Mr. Bond made a cameo in the opening ceremony?
Yes, yes.
The Queen.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I shall be entering the Olympic Stadium riding one of Her Majesty's corgis while singing Forever in Blue Jeans, babe.
Oh, it's just gonna be such a fitting finish to these Olympics.
And then the Arctic Monkeys are going to play.
Well, there's always a downside to these things, but Neil, thank you so much for coming on Column Inches. I hope you come on another day.
I will, Ron. I love your Column Inches.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Neil Diamond, you heard it here first that he is going to be in the closing ceremony of the Olympics. That's it for now on Column Inches. If you'd like to leave me a message, you can email ronniebarbour@me.com. That's ronniebarbour@me.com. Have a good day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. my friends. It's Friday! Yeah, it's Friday. Sorry that was loud, but that's the kind of mood I'm in today. How are you? It's time for Column Inches again. And on Friday, when I do it, I'm going to call it Friday Notes. And I'm going to give notes of guidance to, I think, 3 different parts of the world. Have you enjoyed the Olympics? I saw a lot of you tweeting last night about it. It's pretty good, wasn't it? Wasn't it great? I felt sorry for the people who overtook at the wrong place, in the velodrome. I just thought, that's how it goes. But Victoria Pendleton, trust me, she's going to do it. Anyway, you're looking forward to your weekend. Thank you for all your nice comments on ronniebarbour@me.com. Thank you for the not so nice comments at ronniebarbour@me.com. Even when you do a podcast, it's amazing. Even when you do a podcast and you say, you have to make a decision to press the button, you still get people who say, get off. But we'll stay. I'm not bored yet. As you know, I have a low attention span, but I'm not bored yet. So we carry on with it then? Yeah, good. Okay. Let's get stuck in then. So Friday Notes. I thought I'd give my first notes today to television news writers. The people who write. Yeah, there is somebody who will write the news in America. They actually have real writers. They have news producers, and then they have people write the news. But in this country, it's usually the producers who write the news. Even some of the clever news presenters will write their own cues. That's what they call it, a cue into an item. But this morning, and it's been happening more and more, BBC News has become really nice, and I'm sorry, but I don't get the Chris Hollins thing. I don't get Sean Phillips. Yeah, I don't get the Chris Hollins thing. The guy who won. I just don't see it. I just don't get it. Bill Turnbull, like Bill Turnbull. Yeah, horses for courses, and but anyway, there was today. It was just one of those moments. It was up the RBS story where RBS lost 1.5 billion. How do you lose 1.5 billion in that time? How do you get round to that? Does somebody sit there tallying up? And when you do those little how many? It's 1.438. Okay, let's see if we can get to 1.5 before the end of the day. Anyway, we've got they got the people down at BBC at the Olympics. You got them, and they've got the big panorama. Great sight. Of course, not everybody has moved down. They still get the news people up in Manchester. You remember that? Yeah, they moved up to Manchester to be centre of the world in Manchester. And so Chris Hollins and Sean Phillips are the two that didn't move up to Manchester. That was their decision. And anyway, they're getting to host it. But they do the story about 1.5 billion. So Sean Phillips says, and in financial news, today, RBS have announced losses of £1.5 billion. Let's speak to Steph, who is our financial correspondent. Hands over to Steph, who is our financial correspondent, and says, Steph? And she goes, yeah, that's right. Looks to camera. RBS has lost £1.5 billion in the last quarter. So here's my first note. Dear BBC Breakfast News and other outlets, you're not all blameless in this. When introducing an item, try and be more creative in getting to the item, particularly when using a correspondent. Try not to use the top line that your correspondent is going to open with at the start of the queue. Yours, Ronnie Barbour, previously of the BBC. First note goes away. Second note today goes to recruitment agencies. As you know, I'm out of work, but I'm a freelance swing jock now, and it's starting to swing back to me, so it's okay. But in that intervening period, I had to go and look for work. So you do that whole thing, and bless you, if you are looking for work right now, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to get people to just kind of either look at your CV or recognise you're born or you live. But when you see the recruitment agencies and they say, send your CV. Now, I don't know about you, but I would have thought when you send your CV to somebody, right, the idea is they read the CV and they match up your skills for any jobs that come in, right? Any jobs that come in. You think, doesn't work that way with recruitment agencies. I have this morning received, I won't give you the name of the recruitment agency because they're more or less the same. Even the local ones are the same. They send you stuff. So they've got the jobs that come through today. Now, some of you will know what these jobs mean. Some of them don't. Now, bear in mind, my background is radio, writing, and ex-medic. All right? So that's in my CV. Get that as read, okay? So they've sent me through today. Senior recruitment consultant, industrial. But I don't think I've ever had a blister in my hands. I've never done dirty work. Though I have done overnights in some independent radio stations. That's a different story. Project manager, retail e-commerce. There's one here, a T&C supervisor. Now, what the hell is a T&C supervisor? When you go to your careers advisor and they say, well, let's have a look, see what you're doing here. I know your skills could be T&C supervisor. You should study to become a T&C supervisor. Credit risk officer. Well, I would have an idea of that. And it says bracket mortgages. I would have an idea on that. Because, yeah, I think I'm a risk. I think we're all risks, aren't we? Customer service, and this is the one where I don't know how my CV matched up with their CV. I matched up with their job thing. Customer service, Dutch and German speaking. Hello? What do you want? That's as far as it goes. Or my Dutch would be, hello, what do you want? That would be my customer service. So, sales executive I could have done. Senior application developer, Java, Apache, Tomcat, XML, SOL. Now, some of you find people who do your computer stuff, you'll know what that means. The only one that kind of work is Apache, and it's nothing to do with computers. It's a film reference. But anyway, these are the jobs that are available. So second lot of notes goes to job recruitment agencies. Dear job recruitment agencies, can I just remind you that when you ask someone to send a CV, please read the CV and match the bloody thing to the jobs that you've got coming in. It's hard enough trying to find the right job when the wrong job is sent to you. Yours sincerely, Ronnie Barbour, previously at the BBC. There you go. My typing's pretty good. I should have put that down in my CV. My type, yeah. Third set of notes today goes to adverts that use actors to play real people. I don't know what it is. We're pretty good in this country when we've got a fine heritage, your Shakespeare and all that malarkey. But we can't get people to play real people. If it's a drama, don't get me wrong, when it says a drama's realistic, you get that. It's those adverts, and they're very often charity adverts, where people kind of, especially if it's sad ones, if it's an illness, they get actors to play real people. And the hardest thing, and some people, some writers will tell you that the hardest thing is to write dialogue, real dialogue, because it never ever comes out the way that real people speak. For instance, if you go to the pub, you don't get sort of a long diatribe from somebody. There's interruptions, there's ums and ahs and all that. And that's hard. That's a rhythm thing to put in. But they never seem to get that right when they're making these adverts. They get, and it says there, actors playing real people. And, and very often, that's the other side of it as well, is you recognise the actor from somebody you saw in Casualty who come in with a lacerated head. You see them, that's the guy who was in Casualty. He didn't make it in Casualty, but at least he's still working in adverts. And I don't know what it is, why ad companies do this. Why do they think that their whole kind of raison d'etre, their message will be made better if we feel that it's a real person? And it's been going on for years. In the past, they didn't always tell you this is an actor. Sometimes they made out it was a real person, and they kind of get into trouble for that. So here's my thing for all you people who recruit and make adverts with real people. Okay. Dear, I'll just make it general. Advertising agencies. If you are making an advertisement about real people or portraying real people, try and use, at the best you can, real people. Don't use actors who've either been badly scripted or don't really know how real people speak. That way, your message will be a whole lot better. Yours, Ronnie Barbour, previously of the BBC. That's the notes for today. Time to get a little bit of advice for us today on the column inches. Let me put a colon. Okay. Put on it. All right. Quick call. Column inches. Hi, is that the Jaffa Cake helpline?
It is, yes.
Oh, hi there. I just was wondering, I don't know where you've had this kind of thing before, but I'm making a sherry trifle for my wife, whose mum used to love sherry trifle.
Right.
And when my mum used to make trifle, she used sponge fingers. Yes. I was thinking of a variation of using Jaffa Cakes.
Oh.
As like on the base of you've got your bowl. And put the Jaffa Cakes. Now, what I was wondering, and this is, has it ever been done before, and has there been bad sort of ramifications, or do you think it's a good idea to put the base of the trifle using Jaffa Cakes, and do I put them sponge side up or the chocolate side up?
Oh, well, now I'm not aware that anybody's ever done this before, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. But it just seems perfect, doesn't it? You've got a sponge chocolatey thing going with the orange, and I was thinking of doing a wee hint of something kind of, a kind of a Cointreau thing. Instead of putting sherry and use a Cointreau to make it, and just bring it alive using the orange in it. So it's just an idea.
Very nice.
It does, doesn't it? It does.
Yes.
I'm not sure what fruit to put in the middle. You get your layers. I'm not sure, because I've got the orange in the Jaffa Cake, which is great. Do I put maybe a pear or something? Pears?
Well, you've gone very quiet, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Do I put pears or something? Anyway, I'll think about that. But you think that would be a good idea?
Well, it sounds very nice. You'll have to let us know how it works out.
I certainly will. That's great. I have a lovely, and I love your Jaffa Cakes. Lovely. Thank you.
Good.
Have a lovely weekend.
And you.
Thanks for your help. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. There we are. Okay. I'll put my Jaffa Cakes and trifle in. The letter of the week. I like my letters in the newspapers. The one that got me this week, which I think I understand, but it's from the Telegraph. Sir, last weekend my family gathered at my father's local pub in Hertfordshire to celebrate the 96th birthday. There is nothing exceptional these days in reaching that age, but his grandfather, right, Frederick Robinson, was born in 1808. Frederick's son, Arthur, my grandfather, was born in 1856. Arthur's son, Rex, my father, was born in 1916. Does anyone else have a grandparent who was born more than 204 years ago? Yours, Ian Robinson, Rochester in Kent. Now, I don't get that one. I don't honestly, I don't know what the thinking is behind it. If you do, but let me know. You can email me at Ronnie Barbour at me.com. Just send me your short and pithy statements and things you want me to talk about. I'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, have a great weekend and let's look forward to a great night of Olympics. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you soon.
I also listen too much.
Hello, my friends. It's Column Inches number 4. It's the one that I do before I go on my holidays. I'm only going away for a short time. The idea of going away for a long time, I don't know about you, but I can't do any more than 5 days max, and then I start to get stir crazy. I hope you've been enjoying the Olympics. I'm going to talk about the Olympics today. I'm going to talk about Nick Clegg and Lord's Reform. I'm going to talk about Mars, and I'm going to talk about Magic Mike. That's still to come on Column Inches. Sound professional now, doesn't it? Yeah. Let's get straight into the cycling. And oh, by the way, wasn't it great, the whole Olympics thing? Wasn't it fantastic? Saturday night, just great, wasn't it? I don't know what we'll do when the Olympics go. How will we fill the hours and day? Oh, wait a minute. X Factor starts again. Oh, we'll be all right then. We'll be okay. The velodrome and the cycling, and here's what I learned today. You know the guy who's running, because everybody said that this guy should be actually running the country, who's running the cycling for British Cycling. He works on this kind of micromanagement thing. They really work on the very, very small details. Of course, you're going to get fit athletes, and you're going to get people who are committed. That's how you get great athletes. But they get down to nitty gritty. He even has got it. They've got it worked out where they'll ask, or they'll make sure that the cyclists, when they move from hotel to hotel, they use the same pillow that gives them the maximum chance of getting a good kip. So they get that pillow sorted. Here's the other thing they do, which I find fascinating, is they teach them how to wash their hands. Now, think about this. This is, it's a basic thing, this. But this is so that to try and reduce the amount of infections they get them to show them how to wash their hands, to just take those little small things out of the equation. The small things enhance and build up to make a better athlete. But I remember, watch out, here we go, all my yesterdays. I remember in the forces that we had hygiene lessons. We were taught how to shave and how to wash and how to clean, because some people didn't really have those basic skills. Anyway, that's what you've got to do. So everything, and we applied that to British industry and the way we run the country, maybe would be a better thing, a better place. But here's the other one that got me, which I loved, was the little guy on the Kieran bike. You know, the little guy going round about with he was going round and round, and and then they all go behind him, and then he picks that moment and off they go, and then they do the sprint. But that must have been a great call-up. I wonder if that's his full-time job. Do you think he travels around the world just in his little moped? I wonder if he even gets drug tested. I wonder if did they check to make sure he's okay while he's on that little moped? And wasn't there a chance there for a bit of advertising? Come on, some of these people who are partners in the Olympics, they could have put a little advertising slogan on the side. Even pizza delivery would have been quite handy, wouldn't it? The other thing, and it's a sport that it's either a sport or it's just a show. Synchronized swimming is not getting its full thing, and that's a shame, isn't it? It's a lovely, elegant thing to see these people pop out the water like that. Remember when you were a wee boy or wee girl at school, and you'd go for a swim. And your dad would throw you, you'd put your foot in his hands, and he would throw you out the water. That's what they need a bit more of. But let's go closer here. What about synchronized swimming? Right? Here's the thing, and this is taking it to the next level. They have to do the swimming and everything, but when they come up, they have to sing in a synchronized way. So they come up to do their handy up in the sky thingy, but they're singing a song as they come up. And there's a chance as well. We could have whatever you like. You could be, you could pick the hits, Coldplay or Agadoo. It doesn't matter. But just think of how enhanced it would be as an exercise if they come out the water singing a song and you're listening for the one person that's a beat behind and they don't do very well. It would be like Eurovision Song Contest in the deep end, wouldn't it? Just being able to come up there and they're singing. It'd be lovely. Maybe you think about that, synchronised swimmers. Science, space, all that kind of thing. I see that, and I've said this for a while, I knew we would get to Mars eventually, but the new kind of explorer has landed on Mars. And it's not the Mars rover, it's called Curiosity. I don't know about you, but Curiosity killed the cat, didn't it? Wouldn't it have been better to give it something a bit sexier than Curiosity? I mean, we've got to remember, we're going into space here. We're dealing with people and aliens who are way smarter than us and probably have got a good PR company. And they'll have better names. They land, they're looking forward to us. And they're watching us, aren't they? They're watching us. And they're looking forward to us getting into their territory and saying, I wonder what they're going to show us. Oh, look, they've managed to, and the way they did it, a bit like the Queen and the Danny Boyle extravaganza at the opening Olympics, the Queen come out of the helicopter in a parachute. It's the same with this Curiosity thing. They actually landed it, and it came down nice and soft. But the aliens are not going to think much of us. So when they look at the side of it, it's going to say Curiosity. It needed something sexy. So NASA, have a word with yourselves. Get a decent person to come in and show you how to name it. Get Danny Boyle. Danny Boyle should just do everything for me now. He should just be in charge of everything that we do that's got some kind of TV presentation show going on. But I'm looking forward to the pictures coming. They're going to try and see of any signs of life. It'll be water. Well, we know there's water there. It would be great if that little Curiosity vehicle is going across Mars and suddenly it finds a lay-by with a guy selling sausages, fish and chips, cup of coffee, a burger. Wouldn't that be great? That little fella there. So where they stop off and they go, we have found signs of life in a Mars lay-by. Science, folks. On to politics. Nick Clegg in the Clag. Must write that down. Nick Clegg in the Clag. You know how it goes. They agreed. The part of the coalition deal was that the Tories would sign up to Lord's reform that the Liberal Democrats wanted, and the Tories, and the Liberal Democrats would sign up to boundary reform, so that some, sort of boundaries on some constituencies, their boundaries would change. All right. By the way, does anybody actually who listed? Do you live in the edge of a boundary? I mean, is your the front of the house, is that Conservative, and at the back of your house, are you actually in the Labour constituency? I wonder if that happens. It mustn't it? Anyway, that's what they'd signed up to, and of course, it all kind of the Lord's reform, and it wasn't just the Tories, but the Labour Party were against it as well in certain respects, and so Clegg has now told, as a result of him not getting his Lord's reform, he's now told his party, right, we're going to block boundary reform. We're going to stop that going through as well. It could be the beginning of the end of a relationship. It could be the end of that. And I wonder if this is us going down the slippery slope into another election. Anyway, it's tit for tat politics. It's tit for tat politics. My phone in would have been either, what have you done as a tit for tat, either with, I don't know, your neighbours when or did they do something, you did something and it went on, or tit for tat you did at school. Last story today, and it's a sad one. It's one of those unfortunate things that happen in show business. Children's magician Magic Mike tainted by sleazy blockbuster. Britain's own Magic Mike, this is from the Telegraph, may have to alter his stage name because his children entertainment business is being tainted by the new Hollywood blockbuster. He's called Magic Mike. There's a picture of Magic Mike next to his van with Magic Mike on it. But there's a film out called Magic Mike, and it's a bit like, it's about strippers, or male strippers. Work all day, work all night, Magic Mike. Unfortunately, and it's really sad, isn't it? Michael De Freitas has delighted youngsters for years with his magic show and ventriloquist act with Oscar the Pirate, Chuck the cheeky teenager, and Brazilian tourist Carlos. But now he turns up in his purple van. It's a purple van. I've got to read these before I do them. He turns up in his purple van emblazoned with 2-foot wand. That's all there. And Magic Mike in 1 foot tall golden letters. Audience expect he's about to bear it all. He has begun to receive inquiries with adult entertainment and is often asked, "Are you the stripper?" Mr. De Freitas is the only Magic Mike to run a UK company in that name and the only one registered with the Acting Union Equity. Magic Mike now fears for the future of the family entertainment business he has spent his whole life building up in the Yorkshire coast. That's sad. But he's got a purple van. We have our summer shows coming up in Scarborough and Bridlington, and I don't know if the audience is going to be screaming women or screaming kids. I pulled up at the cricket ground the other day and the first thing they asked was, "Are you the stripper? Are you the stripper?" Poor old Magic Mike. I hope it works out for you. Magic Mike, just ride this thing a bit more and, you don't know. It might come up, you might end up being sort of well off the way things go. Here's the phrases that I found that you can use if you want to show off in the world of social, interweb thingy and all that malarkey. Social face working. It's actual social face working where you go along and you socially face work. Blogospherical, social commotion, but the one I liked is data fluffed. That is it for this edition of Column Inches. Keep in touch with me, Ronnie Barbour at me.com. Mike did that, Arlene did that, Lorraine did that. Keep in touch. Let me know what you're thinking. I'll see you soon. And keep it British Olympics and keep it your Column Inches. Here we are for another edition of limited edition Column Inches, and I haven't done a few. I haven't done many for a while. It's been like months since I did the last one. Has it been months? I don't know. It's just I'm a busy man. But joining me today, especially because he's come back from London town, is Nelly B, single producer, and here's the news. He's still single. Yes, are you?
Yeah, I am.
Have we caught up on that at all?
No, not really.
No. Do you want me to catch up, like father-son sort of thing?
No, it's fine.
Do you need any hints?
It is what it is.
What's London like? What's the London town like? Because you're working at LBC. I remember when LBC had a guy called Robbie Vincent on it. He was like the original talk show jock. Before even Danny Baker, Robbie Vincent used to, and he was like the cabbie's pal. He would be, you could phone up Robbie. Hello, Robbie. How's it been?
Get a lot of those.
Do you? That's good, though. It's good. And so, anyway, you did a lot for the Olympics, didn't you?
I did a lot for the Olympics. Yeah, I went down to the park.
Was it nice?
And watched from our special location, which was
3 miles away.
Everyone who wasn't the BBC was basically on top of a car park.
Yeah.
At Westfield.
Yeah. But you were impressed, weren't you?
It was very impressive. Yeah, it was.
Because it was all kind of bigger than you thought. That's bigger than you.
Yeah, and actually, people were happy for a bit.
Happy
in London.
Oh, that's nice. Have you noticed the difference now it's stopped? Because I've got the morning after the Olympics thing.
Yeah.
And let's be honest. Because I was tweeting during the closing ceremony, and it just didn't hit the spot. There was a lot of dead people.
What? Yeah, there was.
There was John Lennon, in a great sequence, and then Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Though the work of genius, whoever came up with this, and I think it was probably a late night thing. Whoever came up with the, when he does the chant thing,
Freddie Mercury, yeah.
And the audience join in. The audience that kind of join in and take part in it. It's fantastic. That was a work of genius. But everything else, here's the thing that really got me. And I shouted at the telly saying, "You better have David Bowie. You better."
Yeah.
Was the fashion bit. When the lorry came in and it played fashion, I thought, oh yeah, Bowie's it's gonna come together.
It's quite Eastern Bloc that bit though, wasn't it?
Kind of.
They brought in models on lorries.
Yeah.
Like that's how we cart them around.
Couple of Kalashnikovs in the background. You will parade down there and then you will turn around in a very artistic way. But it did, and it was Kate Moss and what's her name?
Naomi Campbell.
And
the ginger one.
The ginger, yeah. I don't know who the
Lily Cooper or
yeah.
something like
Anyway, it was it just. But then you had a hard gig to follow, didn't you? The opening ceremony.
Well, basically, what happened in London was everyone was happy for 2 weeks, and then on the Monday after, we realised we'd woken up with someone we didn't really want to.
That's it. That is it.
It was that moment where
you
sober up.
Yeah, they should. Oh, what?
That is a wrong un.
That's a wrong un.
Yeah.
And then you've got to do that kind of thing of, putting your pants on and kind of just go, you want some breakfast?
Or can you get away without them noticing?
Yeah.
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 That's more like what happened.
Like, you've done a lot of that, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done a lot of that. Yeah. But the Olympics was good, and I was, you did a couple of shows from there. I tried to... I even got to, there's a website for people who didn't get tickets, who were fed up that didn't get tickets. I even went in there for a bit,
Really?
where you could actually just take part in, I tried to get tickets for the athletic, and we became kind of almost a community of people who hadn't been to the Olympics.
Disgruntled ticket people.
Did what?
Disgruntled ticket people.
It was disgruntled.com.
Yeah.
It was disgruntled.com, and it was, and there was one guy who tried for every single event. I mean, he was the king, but he was the king disgruntled.
Yeah.
He was the man. And he'd tried for every single thing and not got one ticket. So we kind of, it was a shared experience.
Yeah.
It was a shared. But the Olympics was just great. Apart from...
Both Saturdays were good, weren't they?
Yeah, the Saturdays were good.
The Mo and...
But there wasn't much coverage of wrestling. Did anybody see any coverage of wrestling?
Interestingly, no.
Because I watched that advert. You know the one for it's like Febreze or something.
Yeah.
And they put people in blindfolds and bring them into a room, and then they spray, and it's like the kit that the Azerbaijan, Olympic squad wrestle in.
Yeah.
And they wave it and waft it in front of them. There's jock straps. I don't think it's a jock strap. Yeah. What do they call a jock strap in Azerbaijan? Is there some kind of... Anyway, a yoke.
I don't know.
A yoke strap.
And a yoke strap.
And they wave these in, and that, and I was kind of looking forward to, because I think the kit they wear is really good, but I didn't see any coverage of the Olympics. I don't, or the wrestling. I don't think we're pretty good in the wrestling.
We're not.
We're not.
We're good in the judo.
Well, whatever happened to some of the ones you see on the WWF? Why are they not appearing?
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan and some of the other ones. What's that other? There's loads of kind of ones. I mean, we could have gone back to the old days. Kendo Nagasaki.
The Undertaker.
Mick McManus.
Yeah.
Giant Haystacks. And...
British Bulldog.
That was the one. Now, that would have been great. But anyway, there wasn't enough coverage. And there wasn't an awful lot of coverage, let's say it. The embarrassing uncle you've got to invite to a wedding. You know that one? You've got to, they're going to let you down, and you know what's going to happen. And for the Olympics, it's synchronized swimming.
Yeah.
Bless them. It's hard. It's hard to swim.
Yeah. And
do the facey thing under the water, come up and go. Whew. As I said, I kind of tweeted our podcast or something that I did. I said, it'd be better if it would synchronize swimming.
Well, they had to sing.
They had to come. When they come up, they're singing this at the same beat. There's a great thing of Sorry, I Haven't a Clue, where they start a song and then they fade it down, and the contestants
and you have to carry on,
and then pick up the thing.
Yeah.
That's what would have been great if they'd even thought about that.
We had a synchronized swimmer in.
What? Not on your show?
Mm.
Did they come in? Did they have to go to the toilet together?
Funnily enough, she brought her synchronised swimming partner with her.
All right. And what, did one not speak then?
One wasn't on air because they're sisters.
Okay.
So it was Jenna and Asha Randall.
Right.
They were both in.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, Asha just sat in the control room while her sister was on air.
But was she mouthing at the same time?
Saying exactly the same thing.
Was she going like that?
Yeah.
See, twins would be great. Why don't they do the twins synchronised swimming?
Bit creepy.
Yeah, it would be a bit. But were they? Because they look as if, for me, if I was trying to get my stuff done and promoted. Is that waterproof makeup?
I think they were wearing
That's what they should have got that sponsored.
X Factor underwater.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I bet there is.
Rimmel waterproof.
Rimmel waterproof, which does sound vaguely, doesn't it?
It sounds like a German.
But they were good, though. And the thing about the I was about to say the idiosyncratic swimmers.
Yeah,
the idiosyncratic swimmers.
That'd be quite good.
They've got weird sort of things they do. Yeah. But I just think that they wanted to be accepted into the whole fold of Olympic, and I don't know if it's going to work.
Well, the one thing that she never answered out of all the questions,
right?
She didn't win a medal,
right?
Or place anywhere really. She didn't answer the question of whether that nose clip hurts.
Did
Did
you ask it? Did you ask?
Yeah. But she went, not really.
What? Are they cushioned?
They look like they hurt, don't they?
You know, when you go, you dive into the water for the first time you jump in, you always pinch your nose, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you think, but then as you get older, you kind of like that flush through. When you go in and the water goes up your nose and it kind of clears everything out.
One of the things that never happened in the diving or the swimming is they never got that moment when their trunks sort of half fell down when they come out the pool.
Oh, that's perfect. And then when
or if they were in Bermuda shorts and they had that moment where the air goes up and you have to push it out and all the bubbles surface.
Oh, I love that.
I haven't just.
I haven't trumped.
It was just the air.
Because when you do, getting out of the water at the side, when your trunks are a wee bit kind of, that's a moment of trying to, clamber out because you've decided you're not going to use the ladders, and you've got to clamber out, and there's a bit of clavage. Yeah. The arse clavage is what we like to call it in the world.
Swimmer's bum.
Swimmer's bum is showing somewhere to stick your son. But that's that moment's quite awkward. But when they were doing, or when you had to do the life saving, did you ever do a life saving course?
Yeah.
And you were supposed to take your pajamas.
I failed.
What?
I failed.
You're supposed to take your pajamas and bottoms.
Yeah.
And when I did it, I remember thinking, when would I be near a pool in my pajamas?
Yeah.
Because
it's for everyone who lived near a lake.
But even then, are you supposed to, if you're right? Suppose you live near the sea, are you supposed to wander around the pajamas? If you go to Margate, nobody's walking around in pajamas.
Do you think a lot of people are losing their lives at sea because people are changing into their pajamas before they rescue them?
Well, how many times are you a qualified lifesaver? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. No problem at all. If you do, I'm your man. Yeah. They go in, they're struggling, and you go, come and help. I haven't got my pajamas.
I can't, sorry.
They're back at the hotel.
Sorry.
But you used to do that thing. You used to tie the legs and then put it over the back of your head and bring it over and you'd catch it. And you'd have like these kind of, almost a V shape of pajama.
Yeah.
And the idea was you put your head there and you kind of floated along.
Yeah.
But anyway, pajamas, I wonder if anybody, email me at ronniebarbour@me.com. Does anybody do life-saving like that anymore?
In pajamas?
Yeah.
I think it would certainly make Baywatch less watchable.
Oh, unless it was little, negligee. No, they'd be flimsy.
Impractical around sand, though.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want sand in your negligee.
No, you don't.
You're right. Yeah, I got sand in my negligee. Get sand in my negligee. But the kind of news that's flying around today, Prince Philip is still in hospital 4 nights now. He's
recovering though now.
He is. He's responding to treatment, which is is one of those kind of almost a euphemism. It was a wee while, but now he's responding to treatment. But the newspapers and the telly go absolutely crazy. They send a reporter to the hospital. Then there's a reporter at the church where he's in the hospital. We can't see him. And then they send a reporter to the church where he wasn't this morning.
Yeah.
The Queen, the royal family, reluctantly went to church this morning without Prince Philip. Yeah, they went.
Yeah.
And I would imagine they prayed for him.
Yeah.
Where they should have been is Assange.
Well, I was going to ask you what you thought about that.
Assange, well, I tweeted about it and said, he's perfect for location.
Yeah.
The Ecuador special, Kirsty Allsop and that bloke, the baldy-headed guy,
Yeah.
they try and find him places in Ecuador to live. And what will he need? Well, I'll need a couple of outbuildings for my computer people.
Yeah.
I'll need that, and I'll need a escape route.
A few PowerPoints.
PowerPoints. You'll need, somewhere for extension lead. Extension lead.
Please.
I wonder what's Ecuadorian for extension lead. What? You got it? No, it's not.
But what if he had, do you reckon he had Olympic tickets?
Oh, yes.
Maybe that's
He'd
why he
bound
was
to.
here and he couldn't go. He could have missed Bolt.
You could have missed the whole thing. But even as we speak, as we're doing this right now, downstairs in the telly, Mrs. Barbour is actually watching. A guy came in to take the door off, a balcony door, the Ecuadorian
embassy, yeah.
Yeah. But they tell us as well, listeners, they tell us that they've hired a PA system. Now, just imagine, is there an on-call PA?
The PA guy.
Get you on call for flooding, on call. Is there a guy who's had a bleeper? He's had his little kind of thing in his hip pocket for 15 years, not one bloody call, saying come and bring a PA system. We need a PA. It's urgent.
Now.
And now he gets a call from a guy who can hardly understand.
Yeah.
PA? You got PA? What? PA? Microphone PA? Yeah, I'll bring it.
Yeah.
They delivered it this morning.
That's great.
Which does kind of put the whole thing into context that it's an ongoing situation. It's what Rolling News was the sort of designed for. And we are getting Rolling News. Though...
But all that cases like Assange highlight is that Rolling News has a lot of time to fill.
Yeah.
It's when they cut back to the report for the third time in that hour and they go, nothing new here, but still we wait.
I love at the moment, my feelings about the Manchester thing and all that,
Yeah.
But I love it when at the weekend the news comes out of London and they go back to Manchester for the sport, right? And sometimes it does the other way.
Yeah.
So you get that kind of back and forth, and it's almost like the sort of batting the news back and forth.
Yeah.
And they just need to put a sound effect. You just hear it building up as they do the crossover. But the Assange thing is interest from this because finally, William Hague tried to be the hard man. Did you see the press conference? He was up there in front and he did these kind of... Even his tie was slightly darker than usual. Yeah. He wears lighter ties. But he was trying to... And if there's anybody who sounds least... I know he does judo and all that. Him and Seb Coe do judo. Did you know that? No, Seb Coe and Hague do judo. But if anybody's kind of...
You're not suggesting anything there. Right?
No, I'm just suggesting they go and they
extracurricular judo.
They judo. They do the judo fighting. Yeah, but no, there's nothing. No, certainly not. But anyway, he's tried to be the hard man. He's kind of warning Ecuador. We can't even go in and sort out Syria. We kind of do this kind of, Syria, yeah. If the Chinese and the Russians decide we're going to help them, we will, but we can't do it. But Ecuador, it's the weekend. Right, give me back my dinner money. No, give them back the dinner money. It's my dinner money. My pal's Syrian. All right, I want it back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen. But I don't know how it's going to... Assange is going to make this speech about his friend. Now, what will happen then? Will he be released from Ecuador and then be sent to Sweden and maybe on to America? Or is he going to stay in Ecuador? And are we going to have these kind of every now and then when it gets quiet? Because I said before, news needs quiet days. And those quiet days, we need to go to something that's ongoing. And Assange might be our ongoing thing to go back to. You remember 15 years ago?
Yeah.
A gentleman by the name of Assange took refuge in the Ecuadorian embassy. He's still there. Let's go live now. And it fills before it's that awkward
15
gap.
years of news.
It's that awkward gap between news headlines and sport.
Yeah.
Before the little guy comes in with sport.
Let's go back to the Ecuadorian embassy where Assange just had his 60th birthday.
But think of the things that could build up in the meantime. You could get a nice little shopping mall, the Assange shopping mall.
The House of Assange.
The House of Assange. That would be a great one.
Do you not feel like the predicament he's in now is he's just broken the window and he sort of has to go and tell his parents that he's just done it?
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to.
No.
Because he knows they're out there.
Yeah.
And they're waiting.
Yeah. I'm trying to make up my mind what side I'm supposed to be on. I'm on the inside of Assange. Assange.
Marlene.
Marlene, Assange still in the Ecuadorian embassy.
Maybe that's his getaway vehicle.
Oh yeah,
the Trotters Independent.
Don't get me going on the Trotters Independent vehicle. That was supposed to be Rodney and Del Boy come out of that at the closing ceremony. It wasn't. No, it wasn't. But anyway, you watch this space because by the time we finish this this nonsense, this little podcast thing, Assange will have made a speech to the nation. Yeah, he's probably
to the world.
Yeah, the world is waiting for Assange. Meanwhile, Syria, people are still being murdered and massacred, but we're waiting for one guy to make a statement about freedom of speech. There is no such thing, of course, as freedom of speech. We don't have freedom of speech. We never have had, do we? Well, we don't.
What do you mean?
Well, you don't get the chance.
Quite deep.
Yeah, I can be deep.
Yeah.
I'm not light and fluffy, but I can. But no, it's there's no such thing as freedom of speech. If you want to say something, for instance, you want to make a comment, you've got to put your letter in to the paper, and they decide where they're going to print it. You can say out loud to people, but even then, if it's disagreeable to what you're saying, then people will tell you to shut up, and you don't have freedom of speech.
But you can say it.
You can say it.
You can go in the middle of the street and shout it if you want.
Well, there usually is a guy, usually on a Friday night.
Yeah.
He usually shouts, "Daddy! Daddy! I love you, Daddy!"
What's the name of the
Devi. I don't know who. Devi. It's not Davy.
That guy from Coronation Street.
Dev, is it Dev? Dev reminds me of a guy we used to work with at a radio station. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Completely. We can't say anymore on that. But anyway, how long are we done here? Is it about time to stop boring the listeners and move on?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks very much.
We need to sort this music out.
Well, actually, press number 2. Press number 2 for the end music. That's it.
There you go.
If you'd like to contact me, email me ronniebarbour@me.com. ronniebarbour@me.com. I'm on Twitter @TalkRonnie. See you soon.